election been on October 27th, I'd be your president. It wasn't a perfect campaign. There is no such thing. But I was on the way to winning until the combination of Jim Comey's letter on October 28th and Russian WikiLeaks raised doubts in the minds of people who were inclined to vote for me but got scared off.
Hillary Clinton announcing this week that she is starting her own political organization called Onward Together to help identify groups that could benefit from outside funding. What does it all mean? The panel's back with me. Jen Psaki, former communications director for the Obama White House. What do you make of Hillary Clinton's statement? What do you make of her commitment to continue to be involved in the process, calling herself a member of the resistance?
Well, good for her for trying to channel her loss into something positive. I do think if you look at her comments of what she said about, it would have been guaranteed she would have won on October 27th, we don't really know that. Was sexism a factor? Yes. Was Comey a factor? Was Russia a factor? Absolutely. But I've watched a lot of focus groups. I've looked at a lot of polling over the years, and the perception of her was baked into the cake for about 10 years. I would encourage any Democrat running this year, whether they're a challenger or they're a vulnerable incumbent, to look at the focus groups that Priorities USA did. They did them in Wisconsin and Michigan. And they talked to Obama-Trump voters. And what came out of them, those focus groups, was something very alarming for Democrats, which is the perception that we are fighting for rich people, we're fighting for the 1%. And if we don't change what we're doing, if we don't listen more, we're going to keep losing. And I think that was also a factor in the race.
I wonder, when you see Hillary Clinton going out there and talking about how it's Comey's fault and how it's Vladimir Putin's fault and she's a member of the resistance, as a Republican, are you happy? Does it make you excited? Like she's going to stick around and keep blaming other people?
As a woman who is in elective office, it is disappointing to me. Hillary Clinton has the opportunity to role model graciousness, but she is choosing to live and stew in bitterness and to blame somebody else. And throughout my career, I've seen over and over again, eventually you say, this didn't work, or I didn't win, or I am sorry, and you move on. You accept things, you own it, you move on, and she is missing a great opportunity by not doing that. Listen to her, it's always somebody else's fault. Listen to her another day for the election, she would have won.
So obviously what happened in 2016 is certainly a set of circumstances that's worth discussing and such. But it's been pointed out that when Mitt Romney lost, a Republican commentator pointed out, people said he was ahead in the polls, people forget, a few points leading into the weeks before Election Day. And then came Superstorm Sandy and Governor Christie expressing nice things about President Obama during that race. And when Mitt Romney was asked, was Chris Christie's hug of Obama the reason you lost? He said, I lost because of me and my campaign. It's no one else's fault.
I think those are vastly different circumstances.
Of course they are, but it's still, but he's still probably,
but
who knows what he was thinking behind closed doors?
The fact is you had a foreign agent interfere and meddle in our election. 17 different intelligence agencies have said it is something we've never seen before. WikiLeaks weaponized the media, and every show that I've been on went on and used those emails and reinforced narratives of Hillary Clinton. But to sit here and act like that Hillary Clinton didn't take responsibility. They didn't hack. They hacked the person.
Right. There was no hacking of election machines, of course.
Right. So no one's saying that. But yes, I mean, Hillary Clinton sit there and said, I take responsibility. I don't know what else you want her to do.
But I would say, as a former Secretary of State, she should know when she stands on a stage like that and says, Russia is responsible for my losing the election, that only makes Russia all of that more powerful. It wasn't just an attack on Hillary. Let's remember they also tried to hack into Marco Rubio's campaign. And of course, WikiLeaks was spreading information. Russia TV was spreading information that was anti-Hillary. But I have a problem with the Secretary of State making it appear as though they controlled our election. That is a bad move. That looks bad on America. This is something that should concern both Republicans and Democrats. I believe it does. But when you politicize it that way, that doesn't help anyone.
Well, that's true. And that relates to what we should be doing moving forward. I mean, you look at the French election and what's happening there. It's happened in Italy with the referendum. We have an election in Germany. And the fact that there are many Republicans who are opposing moving forward with the investigations, who are holding back information, should be perplexing to people because Putin is not a registered Republican.
Right.
He wants to create confusion in the United States. So moving forward, that's absolutely right. Now, we do know from the intelligence agencies and the assessment that they were trying to help elect Donald Trump. So factually, there's no question it was a factor. We probably will never know.
That doesn't mean they won't turn on Donald Trump when the conditions are right.
What we need to do is this. We need to go back and look at what happened with the Clinton Foundation and Uranium One and those ties.
Why?
And
We're
look
talking
at
about
it
moving
investigated
forward.
before, right? That
Look
hasn't
at
been
it
investigated before.
holistically. We
That's-
know that the Russians are bad actors and they don't wish us well. So let's agree on that and agree, yes,
Final word,
it should
Bakari.
be investigated.
That makes no sense. But let me.
Of course it makes sense.
Let me
Common
also
sense.
let me just say this. For people to be surprised that Hillary Clinton is a part of the resistance, I wanted to go to that. This is somebody who was a civil rights activist for a very long period of time, with registering Hispanic voters, getting young African Americans out of adult prisons. Her being a part of a civil rights movement or a struggle is nothing new. And so this whole, now that she's back on the scene, God bless her and let her do what she pleases.